The following feature has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America.
We have a little entertainment planned for you today. Then just pretend that what you see is real.
I can feel death in this room. A presence. You have killed. And you will kill again.
The murderer is a schizophrenic paranoid. Anyone who kills with such frenzy surely does it in a state of temporary madness. And when he kills, he must recreate these specific conditions.
Welcome to our academy. I'm Miss Tanner, one of the instructors.
At night and can't be stopped. They're the walking dead who are never buried, and they're coming your way now in Horror of the Zombies. They live on flesh and subsist on blood. They're hundreds of years old and look decayed. It's all new chills and a shocking and ghastly nightmare of gruesome terror.
Now, put her into the mind probe.
No! No!
Hold it right there!
L.
Release her or I'll blast your queen. I mean it. Come on now. Don't you people move or you're dead. You mean the treble and I'm gonna clean out your sinuses real good, lady. Now you stand there. Okay, close the door. Don't you follow us now.
Stop them! Stop them!
All of these are Argento films. 3 of these films are from the 1970s. 3 of these films are from the 1980s. But I thought I would put them all together tonight just to show you what Canopy can do for you, to give you your ultimate Argento fix. Suspiria, folks, one of Argento's masterpieces. This is one of the 3 Mothers films. There was Suspiria, Inferno, and the last film, Mother of Tears. And these are all supernatural. He didn't always do supernatural films. He did a lot of giallo horror films. But as it says here, a newcomer to a fancy ballet academy gradually comes to realize that the school is a front for something far more sinister and supernatural amidst a series of grisly murders. Suspiria is Italian horror master Dario Argento's best known and most acclaimed film. This is a film that I had a little bit of a problem with the music copyright issue. Now, the soundtrack on Suspiria is fantastic. It's by Italian group called Goblin that composed a lot of soundtracks for a lot of movies back in the 70s and 80s, including Suspiria, Deep Red, which we're going to take a look at. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, that is Goblin soundtrack. Unfortunately, when I did the video intro on this and I put it up on YouTube, they got me initially for a copyright claim. So I had to go in and pull a sneaky Pete, folks. And I made my own trailer with a different soundtrack.
Welcome to our academy. I'm Stana, one of the instructors.
One of my favorite, look, I love all of these Argento films. There's no doubt about it. This is Deep Red or Profondo Rosso from 1975. This also has one kick-ass Goblin soundtrack, but what a movie. If you have not seen Deep Red, I cannot recommend this highly enough. As it says, one night musician Marcus Daly, looking up from the street below, witnesses the brutal axe murder of a woman in her apartment. Racing to the scene, Marcus just manages to miss the perpetrator. Or does he? As he takes on the role of amateur sleuth, Marcus finds himself ensnared in a bizarre web of murder and mystery where nothing is what it seems. Profondo Rosso, Deep Red. This is a little trailer for Deep Red. Check this out.
I can feel death in this room. A presence. You have killed, and you will kill again.
The murderer is a schizophrenic paranoid. Anyone who kills with such frenzy surely does it in a state of temporary madness. And when he kills, he must recreate these specific conditions.
What was that? I saw a man in a brown raincoat walking away from the building.
What are you doing messing around with this business anyway?
Most of these films that you're looking at right here are not on Tubi in the first place. And if they are on Tubi, you're going to watch commercials. These are all uncut, commercial free on Canopy. Just watch them. No commercials. You could watch all 6 of them back to back and perhaps become as insane as one of the characters in Argento's movies. Inferno. Now, this is the second film in the Three Mothers series. Now, we're getting back to Supernatural. This one does happen to be 1980. As I said, there's 3 80s films and there's 3 70s films here. Tenebrae, which is fantastic. This is classic Argento from 1982. Highly recommended once again. Bird with the Crystal Plumage is 1970, and it is great. I love this film. It is earlier Argento giallo. Once again, not a supernatural theme. Really cool. Starring Tony Musante. Absolutely fantastic. 1970. And you may recognize the Jennifer Connelly. Oh, yeah. A very young, I think that she's 16 years old in this freaking movie, folks. It's phenomenal. From 1985, once again, quite good. Donald Pleasance is in this film. Jennifer Connelly. It takes on a more of a, I don't know what the hell you'd really call it. She's got a connection with insects. It's really strange. And there is a killer on the loose. Hey, it's a weird like Argento, huh? That is one hell of a 6-pack of horror right there, folks. all on Canopy, just waiting for you to sign up. You sign up for free, watch the movies. There's a ton of freaking movies on Canopy. As we enter the world, the finale, the 70s finale here. And Tubi has added a couple. As a matter of fact, they just added a couple of films yesterday. Horror of the Zombies, as many may know it, it's the Ghost Galleon. Yes, it is one of the 3 or 4 films they made about the Knights Templar, as they say here, the living corpses of the devil-worshipping Knights Templar. What? They weren't devil-worshipping in the first place, and they didn't worship some weird frog god. That was in the last one, the Night of the Seagulls, where they worshiped this frog god, and they sacrificed women to the frog god. I'm like, okay, where the hell are they getting this from the Knights Templar, man? Now, there's a couple of great things about this film. I've seen it a couple of times. I like the creatures. Now, once it, I have a strange affinity for these slow-moving, skeletal, zombie Knights Templar creatures. Okay, maybe it's because of the hot babes that they're menacing on board this ship. If you look up Ghost Galleon, it's the same damn film. They've got it under its 2 titles, Horror of the Zombies and Ghost Galleon. I've got a little trailer.
They rise at night and can't be stopped. They're the walking dead who are never buried. And they're coming your way now in Horror of the Zombies. They live on flesh and subsist on blood. They're hundreds of years old and look decayed. It's all new chills and a shocking and ghastly nightmare of gruesome terror. When pretty young girls go on a pleasure trip alone, they don't realize it will be their last trip into the world of the living zombies in Horror of the Zombies. In blood-drenched color, won't you join them? Horror of the Zombies. Rated R from Independent International.
Next up, Bloodsucking Freaks. It is one weird freaking movie. As they say here, they list it as a horror comedy from 1976. In New York's Theater of the Macabre, Sardou and his assistants present a show inflicting real torture, mutilation, and death upon unwilling subjects. The one thing about Bloodsucking Freaks is this. Yes, it's got some rather graphic scenes, but the graphic gore is on a level, as far as I'm concerned, it's like Herschel Gordon Lewis. So you're going to see a lot of red paint. Check out this trailer, though. It is rather funny.
We have a little entertainment planned for you today. I am Sardou, master of the Theater of the Macabre. Tonight, we begin with torture. Again, I warn you that if you find what you see is a little upsetting to your stomach, then just pretend we're play acting. Then just pretend that what you see is real.
Nothing you can say or do would revolt me.
Well, now we're starting this phase of the Tubi presentation I like to call hilarious titles for not so great movies. And we begin this series with I Dismember Mama, that queasy little chiller from 1972. After being institutionalized for an attempt on his mother's life, a mentally unwell young man escapes and goes after his mother once again. The best thing about this film is the title. I do like the poster too. That's a nice bit of key art right there. The next one is the story of a menage a trois that turned out very badly. It's called Three on a Meat Hook from 1975. As it says, when their car breaks down on an isolated road, 4 women wind up spending their last night in the farmhouse of a widowed man and his troubled son. 3 on a meat hook, folks. Just to give you an idea, think about watching a film, like a 90-minute film, right? That's like this trailer.
A picture you won't ever forget, because it touches the full spectrum of the bizarre, the forbidden, the twilight areas of a life destined to be spent in shadow and agony. The screen may never again relate to this subject matter. It will certainly never again approach this treatment.
Oh, you know all about them, huh? You don't even know their names. Now get them out of here.
Look, Paul, why don't you just go on to bed or something? I promised to have them out of here first thing in the morning. But I'm not taking them back on that road this time of night.
Do they? I don't want to be unreasonable, but you know what happens to you when you get around women. And it must never happen again.
I'm going to go fix them something to eat, and then I'll show them to their rooms.
A child's world robbed of joy by a secret conspiracy of suspicion and fear, dwelling like a lodger in the mind, insinuating its presence into every heartbeat, holding a black light to the dreams of childhood, forcing the will into blind canyons of loneliness and despair. A stolen life, pawned to a godless oblivion. The only ones left to mourn, the last witnesses to the execution, suspended in time by a puppeteer with blood on his hands. Little broken dolls that go on dancing after the music has stopped.
Hey, okay, just shut up. Jesus Christ. What day is it? Is there anybody left in the chat? The next one we have now, I gotta say, I have not seen this film. Okay, Violent Bloodbath, which was apparently the more successful sequel to Peaceful Bloodbath. A district attorney is disturbed when several horrific murders, all identical to cases he's tried and convicted in the past, begin occurring. Hatchet for the Honeymoon, another one of the series of hilarious titles for films. It's Hatchet for a Honeymoon, which I have seen. And it is from 1970. As it says, a cleaver-wielding bridal designer murders various young brides-to-be in an attempt to unlock a repressed childhood trauma. Yes, it is Mario Bava. This is the saving grace of the film. Hatchet for the Honeymoon, folks. It's Mario Bava. So look, pretty much any Mario Bava film is going to be definitely worth seeing at least once. Some of his films are worth seeing many times over. There's a lot of Bava fans. I like several Bava films. With this one, I like the title most of all. Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Come on. And that poster is kind of nice too. I do like that. It's not as good as Violent Bloodbath, but it's all right. We're moving on up to the east side as we explore the magic of Frankenstein 80. Yeah, I bet you've never seen this one, have you? From 1972. An inspector investigates the case of a mad scientist who creates a monster that breaks out of the laboratory to hunt down and kill beautiful women. Once again, strangely, that's always seems to be the modus operandi. Next up, we have one of my favorite titles in this whole damn list. The Horrible Sexy Vampire. Oh, God, yeah. And it does pay off in spades, folks, in that regard. There is plenty of TNA to be had in this 1971 horror flick. As it says, when an inhuman being begins murdering people, a doctor becomes convinced that it's the work of a reclusive baron who died many years ago. I've got a very short trailer for you, folks. Check this out. Yeah, there's something about that trailer, folks. I don't know what it is, but, as you can see, yes, the film pays off in certain respects. It may be a plotting pile of shite, but you're going to get some decent TNA value with the horrible, sexy vampire. Next up, this is a film that I think they just dropped it on Tubi yesterday. So I had to put it in here, folks. Cannibal Girls. The picture with the warning bell. When it rings, close your eyes if you're squeamish. These girls do exactly what you think they do. But the funniest damn thing about this film? 1972 film, folks. It's a horror comedy, apparently. I didn't find that much comedic value out of the film. It stars Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin. This is pre-SCTV. This is years before SCTV. And Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin are in this freaking Canadian horror, as they call it, Canadian horror spoof. I didn't see much spoofing going on. I thought it was rather dull for the most part, with the exception of some amazing looking cannibal girls who are indeed cannibal girls. They'll do anything to get men into their little bed and breakfast in order to eat them. Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin star in this Canadian horror spoof as a couple on a romantic holiday who settle into a quaint little bed and breakfast run by a trio of flesh-eating ladies who fancy them for tomorrow's menu. Now, as I understand it, this film was made for the budget of $9,000 in 1972. It is directed by Ivan Reitman. That name may be familiar to you. Ivan Reitman went on to direct such films as Ghostbusters. He also produced Heavy Metal, the film, the 1981 film. He did some great stuff, folks. This isn't one of them. We start the fourth row with the incredible two-headed transplant. I can't believe this. They just added this on Tubi yesterday, folks. It's on Tubi now, the 1971 sci-fi horror flick starring Bruce Dern as Dr. Gerard, a mad scientist who dares to combine two heads onto one body despite serious consequences. I wonder what those consequences could possibly be. Stars Bruce Dern, Pat Priest, and Casey Kasem, America's Top 40. That is the incredible two-headed transplant now on Tubi. The one thing I really dig the shit out of about it is this poster with the two-headed brute carrying out off the scantily clad woman. As it says, this brain wants to love. This brain wants to kill. It is STARCRASH with Carolyn Monroe as Stella STARCRASH. 1979, a pair of smugglers are recruited by the Emperor to rescue his missing son while they track down a mysterious superweapon designed by an evil count. Marjo Gortner, Carolyn Monroe, Christopher Plummer, believe it or not, directed by Luigi Cozzi. Hey, I need to make a sci-fi movie with the Carolyn Monroe. I'm making this movie Stella STARCRASH. I didn't get the trailer. I didn't put the trailer in here because it sucked, really. The one that I watched. But I do have this tasty scene that we're going to watch and love again. Check this out. This is when Stella gets accosted by those space Amazons.
Put her into the mind probe.
No! No!
Hold it right there!
Elle!
Release her or I'll blast your queen. I mean it. Come on now. Don't you people move or you're dead. You mean the treble and I'm gonna clean out your sinuses real good, lady. Now you stand there. Okay, close the door. Don't you follow us now.
Stop them! Stop them!
Next film, folks, I have no freaking idea. It's called Dark August. I don't know if anybody in the chat has seen this film, but it is from 1976. It says horror mystery thriller. In this gem of a chiller, dark forces of witchcraft and psychic phenomena taunt a new resident in a small rustic town after a fateful car accident. This one looks kind of cool. We shall see, because I'm going to watch that.